All righty, we'll go ahead and kick things off. So hello everybody and welcome to our Applying to Minds webinar. Today's webinar, you'll have a better understanding of Colorado School of Mines, the application process, admission requirements, important deadlines, and tips for submitting a strong application. My name is Antoinette Steinman and I'm the Assistant Director of Admissions for Visit Events here at the School of Mines. And we are so excited that you all are joining us today. As you see on your screen today, it is a kind of an invite for you for our Discover Minds invite and event. So as you explore your next steps, we also invite you to join us for one of our Discover Minds preview days this fall. Discover Minds is a great opportunity to experience campus, learn more about the School of Mines, connect with faculty and current students, and get a closer look at what it's like to be a student here at Mines. So we would love to welcome you to campus to help you discover what makes Mines such a special place. Before we get started, I'll quickly go over some housekeeping items. Today's session will be about a 30-minute information session covering all things next step as you apply to the School of Mines. After that, we'll move into a live Q&A where we'll address some of your most frequent asked questions. Because space is limited for tonight's webinar, we encourage students and their guests to log in using one device per household. This will help us ensure that all students who are registered can access tonight's webinar. Please note that there is a Q&A feature in the Zoom. We encourage you to use it throughout the webinar. We do have admission staff behind the scenes answering questions in real time. We'll also be recording tonight's webinar and posting it to our Colorado School of Mines admissions YouTube page by the end of next week. That way you can always come back to it and rewatch it if needed. All right, and now I will kick things over to Jen Gagne, our Executive Director of Admissions.
Thank you, Antoinette, and everybody. Welcome. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to join us as we explain why Mines is such a great university. And we hope that as you pursue your colleges on your list, whether you are getting ready to apply or just getting started thinking about it, wherever you are in your college search journey, we want to remind you that we are here for you. We are ready to answer any questions that you have. We love to share about why Minds is great, but even if you just have questions about what something means, higher ed uses a lot of acronyms. We want to make sure that you feel comfortable moving forward into the college journey. And just a little bit about Minds. If you haven't visited campus, I can't recommend visiting enough. We have so many amazing things happening on and around our campus and the local Golden area. We just opened a brand new apartment for our second year students on campus that is absolutely beautiful and breathtaking. And we're about to open our energy and minerals research facility this spring. And you may have heard, we've been really excited to share that we just launched the nation's first quantum systems engineering program. So, as an incoming student, you can major in that program and be part of this groundbreaking effort where we are diving into quantum. So, ask good questions. Remember, one thing that I love to share when you're searching colleges, remember to ask not only about what life will be like when you're on campus, that's really important, but it's also really important to ask about the outcomes that the graduates from each college and university, what are they doing? Where are they going? Where are they working? What sort of outcomes will you have? What sort of salary will you be making? That's something that we're really proud of here at Minds. Our Ordiger alumni network is phenomenal. And our students are really set up for success. So it's hard work here, but it has an incredible payoff. And I'm going to pass it over to Luke Contreras, our Director of Admissions for Recruitment Strategy. He's going to walk you through all the information that you need to know. But please remember to reach out if you've got any questions. Thanks again for spending time with us.
Hello, everyone. As Jen mentioned, my name is Luke Contreras. I am the Director of Admissions for Recruitment Strategies here at Colorado School of Mines. And I'm so thankful to be with you all this evening and this afternoon to talk more about mines and what makes our university special. Now, we are so excited to be joined by people from all over the country, as well as some international folks as well. Um, but so as Antoinette mentioned, how we will run this is I will give you a brief little info session about the Colorado School of Mines, and then we'll love to answer your questions live, and then we'll wrap up at the top of the hour. Colorado School of Mines. Let's just be 100% honest with everybody. Probably the most unique name of any university that you are considering. Maybe you received an email from us or a postcard, or potentially someone at your high school was like, hey, you like math and science. You should look at this Colorado School of Mines. And it is a-okay that if you heard the name Mines, that your first thought might have been, I'm gonna learn how to move dirt. I don't know if that's quite the university I'm looking for. The name is an ode to our history. When we were originally founded back in 1874, Colorado was in the midst of the economic boom that was the mining industry. And so we were originally founded to teach people about the science and the engineering of mining and geology. But as the world has evolved, so have we. And at Colorado School of Mines, we offer over 55 areas of study that range from mechanical engineering to civil engineering. We still have the number one mining engineering program in the world, but we really are kind of your Polytechnic or Institute of Technology style university nestled at the foot of the Rocky Mountains to really allow you to dive into some specialized degrees with our world-class faculty. But we're also a university that allows you to explore. We recognize that as you are going through the when you're trying to figure out your major, that might be a little bit intimidating, that you're trying to figure out, I don't know what I quite want to study or not. But what we love about how we operate at Mines is as long as you know you like engineering and applied science, and as long as you want to explore, come study with us because you get exposure to all of our engineering and applied science disciplines to eventually find something that you are passionate about. I'm going to use the phrase engineering and applied science university a few times today. All you got to know is we're a bunch of proud nerds. At Colorado School of Mines, we like to say this is where nerds come to win. And so we're really excited that you maybe want to join and become a fellow nerd here at Mines. And as Jen mentioned in her introduction, we are very successful nerds as well. When talking about where the degree takes you, a Mines degree has pop. A Mines degree has sizzle. You are going to be in demand for internships during your undergrad experience and for those first jobs and for a career after you cross the stage at graduation. We host two of the largest career fairs of any university in the Rocky Mountain region. We literally have employers knocking down the doors to come talk to our students because they know that you have access to world-class faculty, you have access to amazing hands-on learning opportunities. This is not a school that's just going to talk at you for 4 years. This is a school that's going to allow you to get your hands dirty, to get those internships, to experience what 35,000 square feet of maker space is, and really to take your ideas and put it into practice. And you get to do all this in some pretty unique learning environments. On your screen, you see the Edgar Mine. As the Colorado School of Mines, with that number one mining engineering program, we do own and run a mine about 25 minutes west of campus in a little town called Idaho Springs. This classroom is actually probably about a quarter mile underground. Ironically, probably has the best Wi-Fi of any of our classrooms. But it is just one of the amazing, unique learning environments you will have during your time at Colorado School of Mines. Over today's presentation, there are quite a few topics that we're going to cover. On the left-hand side of your slide, you do see the topics that we are going to talk about. Yes, we did make those look like the periodic table of elements on purpose. We have an awesome and creative marketing team that loves to talk about embrace that nerdiness. On this slide, you do see a URL in the lower corner, and that is to our view book. One of my colleagues is going to put this URL into the chat, And that view book and my presentation today, same content, same great information. The only thing that view book doesn't have is any of my jokes tonight. But it does have all of the great information that we're going to talk about. And we want you to use this view book as a tool and as a reference as you continue to look into Colorado School of Mines as your potential university. The first thing we want to talk about today is admissions. Straight up, we want to talk about is, are you preparing yourself to be an excellent candidate to the Colorado School of Mines? And what you see on my slide, or the slide today, are all the things that we're going to start looking at when it comes to an applicant. Many of you might be surprised to hear this, but the first thing we look at is not your GPA. The first thing we look at, it's not test scores. The first thing we look at is, did you take the right classes in high school for a Colorado School of Mines and for, frankly, any engineering style degree? We're going to look at your math and your science courses that you took during your high school career. At minimum, we want to see pre-calculus or trigonometry in the mathematics. And at minimum, we want to see chemistry or physics when it comes to the sciences. Now, I introduce those to you all as the minimums. We love when students take that next step or go advanced into their curriculum. About 80% of students who come to Colorado School of Mines take some sort of a calculus course while in their high school career, whether it's AP Calc or IB Math HL, or maybe a dual enrollment course at a local 2-year or 4-year university. So we do encourage you to go and take those advanced mathematic courses if you have the option to do so. We also, to be very honest, would love to see physics and chemistry. Those two courses are very fundamental when it comes to the types of degrees we offer and the core curriculum that you will experience as a Mines student. In the middle of the slide, you see our recommendations. I mentioned that advanced math. I had mentioned the advanced sciences. And I want to re-emphasize how much we love AP, IB, and dual enrollment. We love when students take those classes to challenge themselves, and those classes could potentially lead to some credit too. AP and IB, that potential college credits, all based off of the end of year exams that you take and the scores you earn on those exams. And for any dual enrollment or concurrent enrollment, that's based off of the grades you get in that course and whether or not Mines has an equivalent of those courses. So we love when students take that academic initiative. We also recognize that not every high school offers AP or not every high school offers IB. So what we want to see is, are you maximizing the curriculum your high school offers? So something to consider as you're building that right schedule for Mines. And then you see on the far right side what a typical accepted student looks like. Average incoming GPA is an unweighted 3.84. Average ACT is a 31. Average SAT is a 1372. Now, I do want to contextualize these numbers a little bit before hopping to the next slide. And that is, one, we are test optional. We do not require the ACT. We do not require the SAT. We view those as one of many different data points that we use to potentially evaluate your application. What we would encourage you to do is, when you get your ACT or SAT scores, ask yourself one question. Does this score reflect who I am as a student? If the answer is yes, and you're proud of your ACT or SAT scores, send them in. We'll love to look at them. If you get your ACT or SAT score and you're kind of like, I don't know, maybe I didn't do great, I wasn't feeling it that day, maybe who knows, for many different reasons, maybe it wasn't your best, then just apply test optional. Test optional students get the same evaluation. Test optional students get the same access to potential scholarships. So it's really just your choice about whether or not you want to send the exams. Now, when it comes to an unweighted GPA, that average is a 3.84. And we do bring everybody back to the 4.0 scale. The reason why we do that is because there's a lot of unique grading and GPAs out there in the world. And so we want to get everybody kind of on the same level. So we get everyone back to a 3.84. Or no, back to the average, back to a 4.0 scale. My apologies. Sometimes students get a little bit nervous, though, if their GPA is below our average. And I go, time out. There's no reason to be nervous because averages are means that some are a little above and some are a little bit below. So we look at students of all, of all different ranges of GPAs. And the reason, and I often tell students that a 3.6 or a 3.7 with a rigorous schedule, because we love those AP, we love those IB courses, is always more favorable than a 4.0 who took the fluffy schedule. So just know that like if you're below, if you're a little bit below our average, you should absolutely still apply to Colorado School of Mines. Now, senior year is a whirlwind. And for many of you on this webinar today, you just started your senior year of high school, which is crazy to think that this is your final year of this awesome chapter in your life. But there are a lot of dates and deadlines that are being sent your way. As you probably saw in your emails when we all of us colleges and universities reached out to you, the applications are for a lot of us, including Mines, opened on August 1st. At Colorado School of Mines, we do have two deadlines that you can apply by, the November 1st deadline and the January 15th deadline. If you remember anything from my presentation today, it is that we strongly encourage all of our applicants to apply to us by the 1st of November. The reason why we highlight that November 1st deadline is two reasons. Number one, you're going to get an admissions decision by December 15th. So you're going to know your admission status before the holiday season. And number two, it is a non-binding early deadline. I don't know if you have seen this out there or not, but some universities do binding admissions, which means if you apply to them early, get into them early, you are obligated to attend that institution. We are not one of those schools. You just apply to us early, you get to help plan early for your potential university choice, and then you get to decide whatever school's best for you. But we do encourage you to apply early, so that way you have from mid-December till that May 1st to decide if we're the best school for you. If you do apply after November 1st, which is A-OK, you have until January 15th, and everyone who meets that January 15th deadline will know by February 15th. So we want to keep those decisions getting out there for everybody, so that way you are well informed about your status with Mines. When you apply to us, it's 100% online. There's the golden application or the common application. The golden app is the Mines-specific application. The common application is a cool application that almost 1,500 universities nationwide accept the common app. We do not prefer one over the other. I think last year, almost 80% of those who applied to us used the common app. So you just pick one, you roll with that, and you pick, and then you apply with one of those. No preference. We do have a small application fee, so keep that in mind as you are planning out your applications. We do need your high school transcripts. We want to see, obviously, your grades, your curriculum, and then your application is going to get reviewed. This might be a surprise for some of you on the call today, but every application at Mines gets looked at twice. So you're going to get looked at by multiple sets of eyes to make sure that we are the best fit for you and that you are the best fit for us. So it's a kind of a multi-step process, and then always reach out to us. What is super cool is every single one of you on this webinar today has an admissions counselor, which means it's a full-time staff member here at Mines that is here to be your person, here to be your point of contact. And your admissions counselor is based on where you call home. So if you email admissions@mines.edu with any question, that email, or potentially if you were to call our office, we'll do our best to make sure we connect you with your admissions counselor. Now, I do have one small under-the-radar tip that I would give everybody about applying to college. And that is, do not apply to college with your high school email address. Do not apply to college with your high school email address. And the reason why I call that out specifically is two reasons. Number one, because you're probably thinking to yourself, well, yeah, when I graduate, that email goes dormant and goes away, and it's not a thing anymore. You're correct. The more important reason, because it's going to happen now, is because your high school email address probably has really strong firewalls. And you're probably thinking, well, why is that an issue? I don't want any junk in my email. Well, correct. However, most of your high school email addresses will not let anything outside your school or district into your email. So if you want to know when your admissions decision is live, if you want to know about potential scholarship opportunities through Minds, I would strongly suggest that you apply with a non-high school email address so that way there's nothing that gets caught in a firewall and nothing that gets caught in an email address that could potentially get dormant after you graduate. When we look at you, we're going to look at you as a whole person. We use something called the holistic review. We're going to look at where you're from, the high school you go to, that curriculum you took in high school. We encourage 2 letters of recommendation, no more than that. 2 is the prime number that we're looking for. If you want to send those in, we want to look at your extracurriculars. Did you potentially volunteer? We want to look at you as a whole person. We do have 2 short essay responses on our application. Maybe you've seen them already for those that are already maybe working on the application. The prompts are, in very simple terms, why Colorado School of Mines, and what element on the periodic table do you connect the most with? And I love that second question because we get to see a lot of personality in that what element question. Last year, we got a lot of carbon. I think a lot of people were like, well, I am carbon, so I'm going to write my essay about carbon. Quite a few people wrote about iron. One student did write about arsenic, and he did get in, and he is on our campus now. So take an opportunity to get creative with that, and don't be afraid to share your story through that element essay when you apply to us. Now, after you navigate the admissions process, then comes the financial aid process. And Colorado School of Mines is a public university. So there's in-state tuition and there's out-of-state tuition. And what you see on your screen in front of you is what 1 year at Colorado School of Mines costs. And when a university gives you total cost of attendances, they give you direct cost and indirect costs. Direct costs on this slide is tuition, room and board, and fees, because you're going to pay that money directly to Colorado School of Mines. The indirect costs, books and supplies and personal expenses, that depends on what you need to be successful. That depends on what you need to live here in Golden and to have a great college experience. So, for example, a personal expense would be what kind of a computer you bring, right? Some folks might only need a tablet. Some folks are going to bring a computer setup that's going to make a NASA engineer jealous. We see the whole array of computer setups that students bring. Books and supplies, that could change depending on what the professor needs for you to go to talk about the course content. So those bottom 2 numbers could fluctuate depending on your circumstance. But tuition, room and board, and fees is pretty standard amongst all the students based off of where you call home. Now, how do we help you pay for this? Well, luckily, 91% of our students receive some sort of aid from Colorado School of Mines. And I like to use the metaphor that paying for college is like a puzzle. And every funding source is a different puzzle piece. And what you see in front of you are various puzzle pieces that you can explore to hopefully make that puzzle of paying for college. One of the most common puzzle piece of paying for college is that merit-based scholarship. As I mentioned, all of you are going to look at twice through the admissions process. One of those evaluations is potential merit scholarship consideration. If you do get a merit scholarship from Mines, you will know at the point of admission. So some of you will get a double dose of good news. Congrats, you're in, and here's some money. As well as if you do get one of those merit scholarships, it is renewable, which means you'll get it every year for 4 years here at Mines. For all accepted Mines students, they'll be invited to apply for the general scholarship application. It's kind of one big application where you can apply for various scholarships, and then that unlocks more opportunities to apply for more scholarships. External scholarships are scholarships not affiliated with a university, so scholarships from other outside organizations or foundations. Student employment, kind of self-explanatory. It's working here at Mines as a student. Lots of great student jobs here at Mines that range from lab research assistants to front desk staffers, to even giving tours here at Mines. Our campus student ambassadors are paid to showcase the university they love. And then for many of you, grants and loans might be a piece to the puzzle to help pay for college. And grants and loans from the federal government are all based off of the FAFSA, which is the free application for federal student aid. That does go live October 1st of your senior year. So that's a little over a month from now, from the moment of this webinar, when the FAFSA will go live. You are not required to fill out the FAFSA, but you are encouraged to fill out the FAFSA because every university has different financial aid philosophies. So that is something to consider as you look through the whole paying for college conversation. After you navigate the paying for college, you get to come to Mines and enjoy what makes this school special. And I'm not just saying this because I've been here for a few years. I'm saying this because it's true. There is no community like the Colorado School of Mines Ore Diggers. It is an amazing community of driven individuals that have passion for community, whether it's our honors programs and study abroad opportunities that can add some really cool immersive international experiences, to our over 200 clubs and organizations that really help you find your people. We have lots of outdoor adventure clubs. We have allegedly one of the largest Dungeons and Dragons clubs in the country as well. We also have a charcuterie club. And who doesn't love a little charcuterie, right? Lunchables for adults is often how I describe that club. We also have lots of pre-professional clubs that allow you to do some great networking within the industries, even as an undergrad. And then we have awesome athletics here at Mines. At Mines, we have 3 levels of athletics. We have NCAA sports, club sports, and intramural sports. Our football team and our fall sports are about to kick off for the year. We're really excited to support them. One of my favorite traditions at Mines is that the football team, baseball team, softball team, and I believe the club lacrosse team. The reason why I showcase those 4 sports is because at some point you wear a helmet during the game, but they wear that helmet, and on that helmet is a sticker, and that sticker is of the major they're studying. And I just love the idea that after the opposing quarterback gets sacked, he gets to see that a chemical engineer is the one who sacked him. Or when the opposing pitcher watches the home run trot of one of our star athletes, he has to see that a quantitative bioscience student is the one that hit the ball out of the park. So just another reminder of the awesome nerds here at Colorado School of Mines. Speaking of traditions, Mines has been around for over 152 years. And over those 152 years has been an amazing legacy of traditions, of moments, of memories. And we have dozens of traditions, but the 4 on this slide are kind of our tentpole traditions, the traditions that truly define the year. And I encourage you to come to campus on a visit, maybe at Discover Mines, like Antoinette mentioned, to learn more about these traditions, to hear from the students what it's like to do the M climb, to carry a rock up the hill, a 10-pound rock up the hill from your home, place that rock, and then get covered in paint as you paint the M for the new academic year. Or racing down Clear Creek in a cardboard boat, hoping that the boat doesn't give out. There's just so many amazing fun traditions that you'll get to be a part of while you're a student here at Mines. One of the stats that I love about Mines is that we have a 92% retention rate. And a retention rate, for those who don't know, is the percentage of students who come back, the percentage of students who stay at the university. And I think the reason why we have such a high retention rate is because of the amazing support and resources that you're going to have during your student journey. From our career center that's going to help you grow as a professional, to our student health and counseling center that realizes that to be successful, you got to be both mentally and physically healthy. For our disability support services that helps people with all different learning styles or all different learning needs to be successful students here. And the fact that you're going to have a full-time academic advisor with free tutoring at your disposal. You're going to have an awesome web of support that surrounds you during your time here at Mines. And that's going to make sure that you are successful and that you can be proud of your time here on our campus. One of the big hubs on campus that is a huge source of activity and center of opportunities is our rec center. We have an awesome rec center that you can do basic workouts in. They do workout classes. You can rent gear from them. Like if you want to go backpacking for a weekend, you can rent some camping gear. They also organize trips in Colorado, around the country, and even around the globe for students to do some awesome outdoor excursions. So something you could look forward to here during your time at Mines. One of the biggest ways, one of the most significant ways that you will find your community here at Colorado School of Mines is by living on campus. And at Colorado School of Mines, we have a 2-year on-campus living requirement. So in your first year, you're going to live in the residence halls. The probably what the dormitory style living that you're thinking of when you hear on-campus living. These residence halls are right on campus proper. You'll have access to amazing lounges, study spaces, and there's even signature learning communities where you can live with others on a thematic floor. So you're living with like-minded people that do some extra programming. And then your second year, you're going to live in university apartments. So year 1 in the residence halls, year 2 in university apartments. And these apartments, we have a couple apartment complexes, surround our campus. They're amazing, gorgeous facilities. We actually just opened, brand new, just opened a week or 2 ago, the Lookout Apartments. They're an amazing new facility. And recently they released a video that showcases the Lookout Apartments. And I'm going to show you a brief walking tour led by a couple of our student staffers in our Office of Residence Life. Now, they did make this video over the summer. So they're talking about the eventual opening of this building. But do know this building is open. And if you're ever on our campus, you can pop your head into the lobby and kind of get a little bit of a cool introduction to the Lookout Apartments. But I want to show you one quick video to show you more about this new on-campus living facility.
There's a brand new residence hall on campus. The new Lookout Apartments for sophomore housing are opening next month, and we're going to give you an exclusive sneak peek. So come on.
As we enter into the building, you're first greeted by the front desk, and as we keep coming, there's an incredible lounge space that'll be perfect for studying or hanging out.
And then if we come on over this way, we have 2 great new dining spots. We have a grab-and-go cafe called South Table Market, as well as this nice area to hang out with your friends, and then a great new dining spot, South Table.
Here towards the end of the hallway, we have a spacious new gym space that's going to be open to all Mines students and run by the SRC. It's going to feature free weights, cardio machines, and a large variety of other gym equipment.
This huge space is one of the many unique lounge spaces you can find on each floor. It'd be a great place to hang out, study, or host events.
Now that we've seen some of the common spaces, let's take a look inside one of the apartments. This is one of our apartments featuring 2 double rooms. All of the rooms come fully furnished with a closet space, a desk, a dresser, and a side table. Thank you for joining us on this tour of Lookout.
See you at Move-In!
So you never know. Maybe you're living in the Lookout Apartments during your second year here at Mines. And when you're living on campus, you're dining on campus. And we have some awesome dining facilities here at Colorado School of Mines. During your first year, you're going to be primarily dining at Mines Market. It's our main dining center with various cuisine stations for you to try different foods out, to add a little variety into what you're eating. They also do thematic dining nights as well. For example, during finals week, they'll do breakfast for dinner. Well, they're open up at like 8, 9 o'clock at night, and you can go in as a study break and go get some pancakes and bacon, some eggs, get some nutrition, and then back to the books as you prepare for your finals. So dining on campus, in addition to the Mines Market, there are various other stations such as Starbucks, Einstein Brothers, the Lookout Apartments. You can go in there. Whether you live in that apartment or not, there's some awesome grab-and-go food cafes in there too. So really lots of great dining on campus. And we have a great dietetics and nutrition staff on campus that can work with people with any dietary considerations to make sure you have the same access to food as anybody else in our community. Speaking of our community, you do have a lot of ways to get around town. We can't guarantee a car your freshman year here at Mines. Most students do not have a car their freshman year. And so getting around campus is going to be maybe our OrCart shuttle, which is a shuttle that can get you from Golden to campus very straightforward and very easily. Being the beauty of Colorado, lots of people have bikes or rollerblades or skateboards. And what's super cool is that every member of the Mines community gets an RTD pass. Faculty, staff, students get an RTD pass. And so that the RTD is the mass transit system that serves the entire Denver metro area. It gets you as far north as Boulder, Colorado, as far west as us here in Golden, as far south as the Douglas County line, which is the southernmost county in the Denver metro area, and then as far east as our airport, which there is no further part of Denver than the Denver International Airport. So you get a free RTD permit and pass while you're here. And you get to do it in one of the safest towns and one of the safest college campuses in Colorado. We have an amazing community of support and safety here to make sure that you feel comfortable during your time at Mines. Because while you're here at Mines, you get to enjoy so many places to explore. Not only are you exploring engineering and applied science, but you get to explore an amazing place like Colorado that is a huge hub for the outdoors. Being in the Denver area means you can go catch a Rockies game, a Broncos game, an Avs or Nuggets. You can go to Red Rocks Amphitheater, one of the greatest places on earth to catch a concert, only 15 minutes away. You're about an hour and a half-ish from some of the best skiing in the world, all right here in the beautiful front range of Colorado that allows you to enjoy what it means to be outdoors and this amazing community. I typically work with students from the Pacific Northwest, so I do love to talk about how we have 300 days of sunshine for them to enjoy what it means to be outdoors. And then when it comes to our university, you're going to be one of 8,000 proud students. Every student here at Mines is proud of what they've done and what got them here. We typically welcome 1,600 first-year students every year, so you're going to be one of many. And 50% of our students are from outside of Colorado. So you're going to have people from all over, from all 50 states are represented, over 40 different countries are as well. So it's amazing to hear all the journeys that bring someone to our campus from all places of all backgrounds. And before I wrap up today and get y'all and start the Q&A, I do want to show you one more video that really kind of hammers home this amazing hands-on experience that you will have here at Colorado School of Mines.
The hands-on learning that we do at Mines is necessary to the real world because everything in the real world, you can apply all the equations and everything possible, but when you actually build it, you're going to have problems and things are going to come up that you did not account for. So being able to do things hands-on helps you expand your knowledge and think about things in a different way that you wouldn't originally think of rather than just looking at a sheet of paper.
Mines is a very project-heavy university. You get a lot of experience working on different projects for all sorts of different classes, and you can work on it alone, you can work on it with a group, with your TAs, with your professors, and you're really able to learn a lot from various different people.
I think working with materials on a hands-on level was huge for me. I think oftentimes the biggest things that I've heard about engineers is that they might not understand the constructability of something, while the concept works mathematically and theoretically, it might be really difficult to build. And so being able to understand like the material and the physical side of things, I think was huge for me as an engineer.
Awesome. Well, y'all, thank you so much for joining us today for the Applying to Mines webinar. I am going to stop sharing my screen and hand it over to Antoinette to have some of your questions answered live for the rest of today's webinar.
All right. Thanks so much, Luke. We did get a lot of great questions during the webinar, so we'll dive right in. Let's see. So how can students best highlight certifications, technical skills, and any other credentials that they could earn and put in their application?
Yeah, so whether you use the Common App or the Golden App, there is a section where you can write about your involvement. And you can give us context of various things you've done, various certifications you've received. So that's one place where you can do that. Another way to do it is maybe somebody who was part of your certification is your writes your letter of recommendation. They can also speak on your behalf. We also recognize that the application is also limited on the number of characters that you can enter into some of these text boxes. So if for some reason there is something that you are not able to add due to maybe running out of space, you can always submit additional materials either to admissions@mines.edu, or everyone will get an applicant portal, which kind of gives you status updates on your application, and you can potentially add more things there as well. But I would say most students will talk about their certifications in the involvement section.
Awesome, great. So a couple questions about the Merit Scholarship. Who is considered for a Merit Scholarship and what factors are taken into consideration?
Yeah, everyone is considered for a Merit Scholarship. Everyone who applies to Mines will be considered for both admission, as well as if they are offered admission, they'll be considered for a potential Merit Scholarship. We look at all factors. It's similar to the admissions process. Our Merit Scholarship process does have a holistic component. So really showcasing your rigor of your classes, your academic successes, your involvements, right? Like when you're talking about your involvements, do not be humble. Brag about yourself. Brag about the awesome stuff you've done, and be proud of who you are. Like really showcase it. I feel like sometimes people get nervous about bragging because they feel like it's being cocky. I would challenge that bragging in a college application is advocating for who you are. So don't be afraid to do that. And then if you do get a letter of recommendation from somebody, or if you do submit those essays, all those are considered as well. So it really is everything in your application will be considered for these scholarships, and everybody who gets applied is automatically considered for a scholarship.
And kind of going along that same topic, how many letters of recommendation should students submit? And then where should students submit their letter of recommendations?
Yeah, so I would suggest no more than 2 letters of recommendation. And there's a couple ways you can send it. One, you could email it to us, admissions@mines.edu, or you could have your recommender email it to us at admissions@mines.edu, making sure that your first name and last name are clearly on it, so that way we attach it to the right application. If some of the applications, like for example, the Common App will automatically prompt someone to do it, and then they can submit it via the Common App system. So I would say those are probably the 2 most common ways for letters of recommendation to get to us, is either emailed by the recommender or submitted via the Common App system, depending on what application you are using.
Great, thanks, Luke. Next question here. How should students decide which AP scores to report or send with their application?
Yeah, so technically we don't use AP scores to evaluate admissions applications. We're just looking at the grades you got in those AP courses, or the fact that you took the rigor of an AP, IB, or dual enrollment. So you technically don't send us AP scores for admissions. You send us AP scores for potential college credit. And that is something that you can do early on. Like you can send us your AP scores right now if you would like, from your junior year, and then you'll send us anything from your senior year once those scores are done, probably not till next summer though. So I would say send them in. To be honest, most of the AP courses, especially in the like math and sciences, Mines is kind of wanting to see 4s or 5s for it to count as college credit. I do encourage you all, and maybe someone in my one of my colleagues could do this, but online we do have an AP and IB score chart that shows you every AP and IB course, the score we need, and what it accounts as, or what the equivalent is. If one of my colleagues can drop that in the chat, I would greatly appreciate that. Use that as a guide, and you'll be able to see what you got and how it could count. Just a little bit of an insider information. If you ever see that a certain score equals free 1XX, that means it counts as a free elective. And getting electives done is still very important, because every major has electives required to complete. So it's good stuff. So AP scores are not part of the admissions process.
Great. Next question here. How should students report on concurrent enrollment courses or college level courses that they've completed for their
Yes.
application?
Yeah, great question. And that's another very popular route that a lot of our students take advantage of. So when you apply, we only need a high school transcript. And most high school transcripts will say on there dual enrollment course, or there's some sort of way they'll designate it. And so when you apply, we just need the high school transcript as long as they designate those dual or concurrent enrollment. If you decide to come to Mines, if you're like, yes, I want to be an ore digger and I want to see how my credits could potentially count, you would then go to your university, community college, or whatever higher ed institution you're working with for dual enrollment, and you would ask that they send us an official transcript. And then our registrar's team, which are some of our colleagues on another office here at Mines, will do the credit evaluation process. So that is kind of how we handle dual enrollment there.
Great, thanks. So we also got some questions about GPAs. So can you speak to what students should do if their school only reports weighted GPA?
Yeah, so we also understand that every school is different, every high school is different. And so if your school only reports in weighted GPA or a non 4.0 GPA or whatever other grading system they do or choose to participate in, what you may or may not know is most high schools, like I'm talking like 99.9% of high schools, will send something called a school report. And essentially, this school report is like a one-page resume of that school. They'll talk about, what kind of classes they offer. And oftentimes on that school report, it will talk about if they have a unique grading system. And then our systems team, so my colleagues here in the admissions office, will take that school report, will take that additional context, and then oftentimes they will still convert it to a 4.0 scale, but they will use what your high school shares with us. And I would not worry about that. I would just know that your high school counseling teams are awesome, and that school report they send us will help us get to those GPAs.
Great. Kind of switching gears over to the application and applying early. So what advantages are there for students that apply early?
Yeah, I'd say two biggest advantage are number one, it's non-binding early application. So there's no commitment to Mines. You just get to apply early, to know early, to plan early, and then you pick whatever university is best for you. And then you get to know by the holiday season. Like you get to know by December 15th, which is nice because then you have 4.5 months to pick your university versus a really shorter timeline. Because if you wait till after November 1, you will not hear back from us till middle of February. So give yourself as much time to navigate financial aid, to maybe come back and visit campus again, to maybe meet with an academic faculty member or whatever you need to decide if we're the school for you. Give yourself as much time as possible. So I really say those are the two biggest advantages is nothing commits you to us and you hear back from us very quickly by middle of December.
Great. And then can you kind of touch on being test optional if students do apply test optional and want to submit their test scores? What process does that look like?
Yeah, so applying test optional is your choice, right? You get to decide whether or not you want us to see your scores. And as I kind of said at the beginning of the info session, our averages of a 31 and an average of like a 1372. If you're above those averages or right at those averages, send them in. 100% send them in because that's a great data point. If your scores aren't where you want them to be, or maybe you're like, I don't know if they're the best showcase of who I am, it's 100% okay to apply test optional. It's 100% okay. Because as I said, test optional students get the same access to potential scholarships, get the same access for the admissions review. I like to make the metaphor that the test is a tryout or an audition. and the GPA or the transcript is your game film or your performance film. And so it's the test is just one little snippet. The GPA is who you are every day. It's who you are more consistently on a more standard basis. The test score is just a snapshot. So, but if you don't apply, if you don't send the test scores, that's a-okay. One thing though, and I don't mean to make this a long answer, but just to make sure everyone knows, some of you might be taking an ACT or SAT later this fall, and maybe you get your scores after November 1. If you choose to apply to us before November 1, but you want to send us a test score, but it may be after November 1 when you get the score, you should apply test optional. And then if you get the score and you like the score, we can always re-add it to your application for you. And that would just be giving us an email or a phone call to Minds, and we can update that for you. But we don't want you to miss that November 1st deadline because of a test score not being available yet.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Another question here is, how important is demonstrated interest in the admissions process?
Yeah, I'd say demonstrated interest is one of the big three. Academics, involvement, and demonstrated interest are kind of the big three. And when it comes to looking at a potential applicant for Minds, but there's a lot of way to show interest. First of all, every one of you that attends today, that attended the webinar live, it will say on your application, attended the webinar, the Applying to Minds webinar. So like it will already say that. If you visited us, maybe previously, maybe in your junior year, or if you visited us over the summer, it will say attended a tour or a visit day, or if you met us at a high school or a college fair or whatever, we track all that. And so it is a part of the process. But then another way to show demonstrated interest, filling out the essays in the application, getting a letters of recommendation, reaching out to your admissions counselor. So there's not one way to demonstrate interest. There are multiple ways. So let us know. We love to admit students who want to be here. And so if you want to be here and you want to let us know that you want to be here, reach out.
Great. We do have some time for just a couple more questions. Just to kind of reiterate, what is that required curriculum students should take to be considered at Minds?
Yeah, the required courses are as follows. In mathematics, you have to take pre-calc or trig. It can be in progress currently, so if you're taking it your senior year, that's fine. And in the sciences, it has to be physics or chemistry. We prefer advanced math, so if you have the opportunity to take a calculus course, we would love to see that. And we do prefer physics and chemistry if you have the opportunity to do so. But required is purely pre-calc trig, purely physics or chem.
Great, thanks for that. Another question here before we kind of start wrapping things up, just a really quick one. What does make an essay stand out or a short response stand out in their application for students?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, number one, believe it or not, genuine effort is a huge part of it, and that you could really tell the passion of somebody. I'm going to address the gorilla, the 800-pound elephant in the room. We suggest not using AI as a total tool to write it for you, but you can use AI as an idea generator. Like that's a-okay, but we just ask you not to copy and paste AI. That's obviously not ideal. But I and my colleagues use AI as an idea generator, just as many of you might as well. And then just, like the Why Colorado School of Minds, like it's super cool when we read those and you could tell someone's researched minds that maybe even we as admissions counselors learn something about the university we work for. So just really kind of adding that extra layer of genuine interest, authenticity. I often joke with my out-of-state students, I'd like to see that your Why Colorado School of Minds essay is more than I just want to go skiing. More than just that. More about why this university specifically. So I'd say those are probably the biggest things. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Luke. Before you wrap up, I do want to extend another invitation to join us for one of our Discover Minds event this fall. We also offer a variety of other campus visit opportunities throughout the year, so be sure to check it out at tour.minds.edu and explore all of your options. We would love to welcome you to campus and help you experience Minds yourself. When it does come to demonstrated interest, we do look at the bigger picture of how you engage with Minds through the admissions process. We do consider the various ways you interact with us, whether it's campus visits, attending events like this webinar, asking questions, or connecting with our community in other ways. We're interested in seeing your overall engagement with Minds in a positive way you connect with us and our community here at Minds. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at admissions@minds.edu with any questions. We hope to see you on campus soon and encourage you to stay in touch with us. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight. Have a great night. And again, call or email us with any questions. And good luck in your application.